This video is sponsored by Celaya, a new eSIM service that I recommend highly, and there is a special offer for my audience. Simply go to celaya.com/companyman, choose the 1GB Celaya data plan, enter coupon code companyman, and you will get the 1GB for free. The link is in the description. Chewy is an online retailer that specializes in selling food and supplies for pets. The company is generally well liked, known for their personal touches and signature blue boxes that show up at your door. Based on their consistent growth rate, market penetration, and overall positive reputation, I would say that it is one of the most impressive success stories in e-commerce. Consider that by 2017, when the website was only 6 years old, it surpassed $2 billion in annual sales and captured the attention of two of the industry leaders, Petco and PetSmart. Petco reached out to them about potentially buying the company, but they couldn't come to an agreement, and then shortly after, PetSmart reached out to them as well, and that one did result in PetSmart acquiring Chewy for $3.35 billion, officially making it the largest ever e-commerce acquisition at the time. Then, only about 2 years after that, Chewy was placed on the stock market with an initial public offering that valued the company at almost $9 billion. The stock price has gone up and then back down from that point, but it remains a widely recognized multi-billion-dollar company with more customers than ever before. This is a great story with inspirational parts to it, lessons to be learned from it, and some unusual elements. So in this video, I'm going to identify what I believe to be 5 of the biggest reasons behind the success of Chewy. Starting off with the first reason on my list, passionate founders, because where there's a will, there's a way. Meaning when someone believes in what they're doing, they're more likely to put in the effort, stick with it, and make things happen. See, Chewy was started in 2011 by Ryan Cowan and Michael Day. They met each other in a chat room where they were talking about web design, got along really well, and eventually set off to start their own internet retail business. Now, originally, that business was going to sell jewelry. They did a bunch of research on it, went to some trade shows, created the website, even bought the inventory, but about a week before they were set to launch, they completely changed direction. According to Ryan Cowan, he was at the pet store with his toy poodle and had the realization that he was more passionate about pets than he was about jewelry, and that the online pet industry was looking more promising. So they got rid of their existing inventory, recreated a new website, and only a few months later launched Chewy.com. Now, for Ryan Cowan, his passion toward pets is only one of 3 elements I'm talking about here. He is also passionate about computers and building websites, having taught himself how to do it as a young teenager, and he was exceptionally passionate about building a business. His father had his own business, importing glassware, and Cowan really looked up to him, following in his footsteps by starting a small business involving web design from an early age, and actually founded Chewy using many of his father's principles. I have to admire the fact that he found a way to combine his love of pets, computers, and business, and turn it into, I guess, the biggest thing to ever combine those 3 elements. By the way, Ryan Cowan stepped down from his CEO position at Chewy shortly after it was bought by PetSmart, and later on became the CEO and chairman of GameStop. Alright, going back to the list, another reason Chewy has been so successful is because of a promising market. I mean, just think about it, people love their pets, right? And they're always going to be buying food and supplies for them. Today, more people own pets and, on average, are spending more money on those pets, making it a consistently growing market. Back in 2011, when they started Chewy, the market was already on an upward trend, even growing through the recession that was hindering most other markets, and since 2011 has only accelerated its growth rate. Every year, people in the US spend around $150 billion on their pets, almost 3 times higher than when Chewy was started. So logically, Chewy has captured a portion of that market and has grown along with it. However, it wasn't that straightforward. There's a little bit of a twist to it. You might be surprised to learn that Chewy had a difficult time finding investors early on. Ryan Cowan said that he had over 100 conversations with venture capitalists and none of them were interested. At one point, he even flew to Silicon Valley to try to pitch the idea to some notable firms and was repeatedly turned away by them, which seems a little odd, right? The pet care market was growing, e-commerce was definitely growing, he was an ambitious young businessman trying to take advantage of all of that, and no one thought it would work. Well, one of the big reasons for it was Pets.com. I made a whole video about it before if you want more detail, but in short, it was an online retailer of pet food and supplies that failed spectacularly over a decade earlier during the big dot-com bubble. They were like the original Chewy, with a few key differences causes, one of them being the timing. In the decade between Pets.com and Chewy, so many more people were on the internet with faster connections and using it to buy things. But still, considering one of the most notable e-commerce failures of all time was centered around pets, that made investors nervous. Chewy did finally secure their first round of funding after about 2 years of trying, and that was like the first major sign of success. Cowan identifies that one as the deal that means the most to him, even more so than the $3 billion PetSmart deal. In the end, I think it was a blessing in disguise. The Pets.com apprehension actually ended up helping Chewy because it left a huge gap in the online pet market. Nobody wanted to touch it for so long that when Chewy was able to finally get the money they needed to scale things, there wasn't much direct competition. The next reason behind their success is the one that relates most directly to the customers, and that is the customer relationships. See, back when Chewy was struggling to get funding, another big reason behind that was Amazon. At the time, they were like the go-to place for many people to buy stuff for their pets online, so venture capitalists figured that they were too big to compete against, and Chewy wouldn't be able to draw customers away from them. But to their surprise, they were able to draw customers away, and I think the biggest single reason behind it has to be the relationships that they have built. Just going through some of it really fast, they have a 24/7 customer service line that they say will virtually always be answered within 10 seconds, and the people who answer it have gone through extensive training and are typically pretty knowledgeable about pets. I mean, Chewy has gone above and beyond in certain ways by sending handwritten holiday cards, portraits of pets, even flowers when one of them passes away. All of these are things, by the way, that separate Chewy from Amazon, and really most other retailers. Chewy customers tend to feel a personal connection with them that leads to brand loyalty and high retention rates. Most of their sales are recurring from their auto ship subscription program, where orders are placed, payments are processed, and products are delivered automatically. Please, anyone who is watching this who has been a Chewy customer, I'm curious to hear about your experience. Have they done something that really stands out to you as being thoughtful, or maybe you feel like they haven't lived up to their reputation? My next reason behind Chewy's success is their infrastructure, because pet food tends to be heavy and difficult to send to people's homes. As a matter of fact, high shipping costs was another main reason behind the failure of Pets.com, so to avoid the same fate, it has been essential for Chewy to have an efficient supply chain, which is what they seem to have created. Most of their funding over the years, especially early on, has been put toward building fulfillment centers. Today, they have over a dozen of them strategically placed throughout the United States, with a more recent push toward automated centers. Honestly, I don't know if this is the most exciting topic, so I don't want to spend too much time talking about distribution here, but that is what allows them to sell 115,000 different products and services from 3,500 different brands. Multiple studies have shown that more and more people consider their pets to be members of their family, and that segment is willing to spend more money to buy their pets premium food and products if they feel that it may be beneficial to their health and wellness. Offering such a wide selection helps Chewy attract business from that segment and has been a huge contributor to their rising sales. On top of that, Chewy claims that they can efficiently send their products to 80% of the US population overnight and almost 100% of the population within 2 days. So the infrastructure that they have built over the past decade also leads to customer satisfaction through fast delivery times. It is all tied into their mission to be the most trusted and convenient destination for pet parents and partners everywhere. Going back to the list, my final reason behind their success is having a long-term focus. It is one of those principles that was brought to the company by Ryan Cowan that was inspired by his father and other successful retailers, mainly Amazon. This is the idea that you have to invest in the business, establish yourself in the market, build a customer base, become one of the leaders in that market, all before you start worrying about making money, because the money will come later once everything is in place. Do you see what I mean? According to Ryan Cowan, we knew we needed to be number one or that we would fail, so the mentality at Chewy has been to prioritize sales and market share far more than profits, which explains why their sales growth has just been incredible, while their net income has been, well, I'm just gonna say less impressive. Now, I want to make it clear that all of this is debatable, and many people have been concerned by these graphs. A decade of losses accumulating to over $1 billion might just mean an online pet supplies retailer is impractical. However, Chewy did report their first annual profit in 2022, and the graph has been moving in the right direction well before that. I don't think anyone's going to deny that they still have a ways to go before they make up for those previous losses, but remember, it is a long-term focus. They have built an extensive infrastructure and a loyal customer base, so the pieces might be in place to start making a lot more money soon. Let me know in the comments, what are your thoughts about Chewy? Are they one of the best things that that has ever happened to you and your pet, or do you prefer to go somewhere else for your pet care needs? There are plenty of options out there, more than ever before, so what attracts you to one of the others over Chewy? Also, I have to ask, do you agree with my list of reasons behind their success, or do you think something should be added or subtracted from it? I want to remind you that it is not a definitive or complete list, it's just the 5 reasons that I believe to be the most significant. Like I said before, I'm happy to talk about this subject because I have a lot of respect for it. In my opinion, it is an impressive story where passion and determination were big factors in succeeding where many others had failed before. So any other thoughts you have about Chewy, leave them in the comments. I'd like to hear what you have to say. Celaya is today's sponsor, and for anyone who has been traveling abroad or in a situation where you cannot find a Wi-Fi connection, in my opinion one of the most annoying things on the planet, you'll understand how useful this can be. Like a few weeks ago, I was traveling on the road inside the US but still without a Wi-Fi connection throughout most of it, and Celaya was like a lifesaver because with an eSIM, you are always connected. And for anyone who is planning a trip outside of the country, this can really simplify things. You won't need to wait in line at the airport to get a local SIM card, and you can avoid scammers selling fake SIM cards outside of the airports, all while significantly reducing or even eliminating roaming fees. To test it out for free, all you have to do is go to celaya.com/companyman and use the coupon code COMPANYMAN to get a free 1 GB data plan. The link and coupon code are in the description. Thank you for watching.